I am finally getting to ride the Ninja 500. It has been out for a couple years now, and I just haven't had the opportunity, to be honest with you guys, to get on one. Now this one isn't the SE, which means it has still a TFT dashboard, but it is a little more upgraded than the Ninja 400 was, so that is a welcome upgrade. It looks like we pretty much have the same chassis, the same swing arm. It's very much Ninja 400 designed. So if you've watched my channel at all, you'll know that I absolutely love the Ninja 400. I believe it's one of the best motorcycles when it comes to a beginner bike, and not just a beginner bike, also for people who, like me, love to go to the track and want to push a motorcycle hard as hell. And a Ninja 400 is one of the best ways to do it, in my opinion. So let's hear what she sounds like, because we bumped up, what, 50 cc's in this motorcycle. So there's our first startup. Maybe a little more grunty than the 400. Definitely identical ergonomics. Complete flat foot with knees bent, and I am 5'10" with a 32-inch inseam. And we do have, unfortunately, the same seat as the 400, where it likes to roll you forward and it puts your junk into the tank. And that's something that I've always disliked about the Ninja 400, but also a easily upgraded item. In fact, they sell like 3 versions of the seat. So if this is too high, you could actually buy the smaller seat. This is the normal seat, and then I purchased the oversized seat, which flattened out quite a bit, brought me up quite a bit, and made the bike, at least for me and my interest in ergos, a lot better. But I spent a lot of time with my Ninja 400 trying to remove these upright clip-ons, and there's still risers I had put on mine, but it lowered them down, brought them forward quite a bit, allowing me to enjoy taking this thing to the track. But undoubtedly, one of the most, I don't want to say tame, because you can get in trouble with this, it does go fast enough to get hurt. I could get mine up easily to 110, 115, and then it would kind of leak up to 130, but that's because I'm a little heavier than, I'm a 200-pound dude, where if you were a little bit, quite a bit lighter than me, you would be able to get up to a little bit higher speeds. This is so cool. Central Coast Yamaha did this for us. We got a full demo day. Ninja 500, baby, here we go. Gotta love it here. Such good people, guys. Like that, the demo crew themselves are awesome. The owners of Kawasaki here, the Central Coast Yamaha / Kawasaki and Suzuki, are great people. I have no problem giving them my money when I buy a new motorcycle. In fact, they've got me an R9 en route. But back to the Ninja 500. There is not a ton for me to say here change wise, but what I am gonna do, because I did, if you follow my channel at all, you'll know that I just bought the brand new Yamaha R3, and I really like that motorcycle a lot. Now I'm gonna compare some ergos to that. Right off the bat, there is way more room in this motorcycle. So if you're a little bit larger person, like I said, I am 5'10", 32-inch inseam, and on my R3, the room in between the tank and the backstop of the passenger seat is so small I really can't even move in it. This motorcycle, I have a ton of room. Like, I can shove my ass to the back and actually feel like, oh yeah. Honestly, such good pickup. Gosh. Guys, much better than anticipated, honestly. This feels great. Every year I ride a freaking Ninja 400, I go, why did I get rid of mine? This is a fantastic motorcycle. Suspension, no, it's not great, but it is more than adequate for riding, hell, even track time. I had a blast with my Ninja 400 on the track with the stock not so bueno suspension. It was perfectly acceptable. Look at that. I didn't even downshift. We're in 4th gear, picking up speed on the freeway, no problem whatsoever. It's pretty dang good, no doubt, but that is considerably better pickup. Now 6th gear, sitting here, I'm getting wind right around the GoPro and just a little bit on my neck, but the protection I'm getting is considerably better. I just got off the ZX6R, and I would say that this wind protection is better. The clutchless shifting, the gearboxes on these are really good in my opinion. It's easy to clutchless shift with this thing. It's a good feeling gearbox. It's a good linear motor to enjoy from 0 to 10,000 RPMs. You're getting a reasonable amount of power. You're not fighting to get the thing up in the 11,000 RPM range before you get power out of the motorcycle. You're getting enough torque and power down low, mid-range, and enough on the top end, which I think is really cool. You're getting a very easy to ride motorcycle that is still really freaking cool. So that is pretty much ergonomics. Like I said, I would like to add that bigger seat, which I still have in my garage from my Ninja 400, which would fit on this, which is rad. So if I ever buy a 500, I already have my seat upgrade. I would definitely do the clip-ons like I did with mine. In fact, I will link some of this up here because it's all going to apply. The only major difference is a dashboard and 50 more cc's in this engine. So it is very similar. You're just getting a tiny bit more power. And let me tell you, I'm noticing it, which is cool. I noticed it on the Backroads. I noticed it on the Freeway. This is a welcome upgrade from the Ninja 400. And this wind protection, this is fantastic, guys. I'm barely even feeling it on my head, and this is a tiny windscreen. Like, I could only imagine if you had like a double bubble or something like that. This would be fantastic. Man, I'm just so excited to buy my R3 because it looks so dope, and I love the motorcycle, I really do. But man, this is better. It isn't better in the suspension compartment. But let's face it, that little 300, that suspension ain't good enough for my chunky ass anyway. So either way, both motorcycles need a suspension upgrade to me. The rest of the package I'm getting here is feeling pretty nice. Now, I will say the stability of the motorcycle, this definitely feels pretty close to the R3. And I will definitely say the R3 was probably, for a little tiny lightweight sport bike, the R3 was one of the most stable motorcycles I've ever ridden in that category. And this is feeling pretty damn close to it. So now we get to get this thing on some back roads. Woo! Okay, so there's a big negative. That front suspension, man, that thing dives. It just freaking tanks on you. And it'd be really rad if these things had adjustable suspension, but I will tell you, like a set of Adriani's, there's little inserts you can put inside the forks that could allow some adjustability for these motorcycles is pretty badass. That would be something I would be interested in doing, just to get rid of that heavy tank in the motorcycle. But honestly, like, if you just want some enjoyment, you want a good beginner motorcycle that you can live with a little bit longer than, say, like the R3 or the RC390, because I have both of them. I'm not saying I'm bored, but you can get bored of those motorcycles. This little 500 here, there's enough power in here for you to keep this motorcycle. And even with my Ninja 400, I kept it. I had a 636 at the time. I had other motorcycles basically, and I had no problem keeping this. In fact, that Ninja 400, I commuted that thing for over a year. It was a fantastic motorcycle. If you are new to getting a motorcycle, this is it, guys. As much as I'd love to tell you, go buy the new 2025 R3 because I bought it and I'm going to do all kinds of videos on it. I love the little bike. This is a better bike, guys. It's a better bike. It really is. Very nimble, very playful, and more than enough power to keep you entertained. I think Kawasaki has just done a really, really good separation of their motorcycle lineup. As much as you maybe want that ZX6R, I know it's amazing. It's an awesome motorcycle. If you're brand new, don't buy it. Don't do it, guys. You're just gonna get yourself hurt. The bike is too fast and it will bite you sooner or later. I know I did. I bought a CBR 600 for my first motorcycle. Yeah, it bit me all right. as I flew over the handlebars at 80 miles an hour on the freeway. I should have started on something like this. And believe it or not, you will learn so much more on this little motorcycle than you will on a 636. And the reason for that is you're going to use this bike. You're not going to be afraid of it. You're going to ride it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to be able to bank through some gears without being completely illegal everywhere you go. You are going to enjoy the crap out of it. And once you get to the point where you think you're ready to hop up to that 636, that beautiful looking bike there in front of us, you will be ready for it. And I promise you this, you'll probably want to keep this because it's so much dang fun. You will probably get to the point where you're like, you know what, I want my 636, but I'm going to pay this thing off first because I want to keep it. And when you do that, take this thing to the track. And I promise you an absolute blast. So who is this motorcycle for? This motorcycle is, yes, very much a beginner motorcycle. And in my opinion, it's kind of tipping on the edges of not just a beginner. You're gonna enjoy it for a long time. In addition to it being a beginner bike, this is a very useful tool and a motorcycle even experienced riders want. I've been riding for a very long time, and I absolutely love my Ninja, well, my R3 now, but my Ninja 400. At the time when I had it, I wish I would have kept it. I owned my Ninja 400 longer than I've owned any motorcycle I've ever owned. That should say something. That's how much I enjoyed the bike. All around, comfortable riding position, good motorcycle to learn on, amazing fuel mileage, a large enough tank to actually get some distance out of the motorcycle. Believe it or not, that's a big deal when you start dealing with other bikes. But in my opinion, it is also for experienced riders who just want to have a second bike to have fun with. Or maybe you're new to track riding and you're interested in getting out and doing that, or potentially trying to get into some of the race seasons and stuff. You wouldn't believe how much fun and how much better of a rider you will become when you ride a little bike like this on the track and you learn how to get it up to pace. You would be absolutely mind blown how great this little bike is. It's been a while since I rode a Ninja 400, and every time I ride them I'm like, wow, why don't I have another one of these? And I've been preaching for 5-6 years now that the Ninja 400 is the best beginner sport bike you can buy. And I have been reminded again today with this short little ride how great it is. So now we get some freeway time. That's always my favorite, because when you're looking at a small bike like this, like the Ninja 400 is where I drew the line of perfect, just enough. Like, look at that pickup. All those bikes in front of me are way faster, and this thing has no problem. Freeway riding is generally where you start figuring out whether a bike can handle it or not. This thing, what, 6,000 RPMs, 66 miles an hour, almost 70, yeah, now 70-ish miles per hour at 6,000 RPMs. This is not vibey. This is probably reasonable fuel economy while I'm at these paces, where the little R3 it was hurting. At 75-ish, I only had maybe 2,500 RPM left. This thing still has 5,000 RPM left of rep range. Fan-freaking-tastic, guys. This is like, I don't even know how to say it. To stress to you guys, if you want to get your first motorcycle, it is very difficult for me to tell you anything other than, is this little Ninja 500, 400, even the 400 is more than acceptable, guys. That's such a fantastic bike if you're trying to get like a better deal on an older motorcycle. But is the power noticeable from the 400 to the 500? That answer is yes. I can feel the slight power increase for sure. So is that worth spending the extra money from a used one to this one? I would if I was going to buy another one. The prices of these motorcycles are very good, so in my opinion, I'd rather just buy a new one than a used one that somebody's beat up. But great motorcycle. Style is important to people as well, and if you don't like the looks of your motorcycle or the cockpit, I understand you buying a different motorcycle. And I will say that I absolutely love the design, the appearance of my 2025 Yamaha R3, and it makes me happy. So it's not always just about the best motorcycle, it's also what do you like. That actually is very important in my opinion. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, got something out of this. Always a pleasure riding a Ninja 400, now the new Ninja 500. The SE model is also a possibility there with just a little bit better dashboard. But I don't know, hard to say which one would be the one to buy, as there is absolutely nothing wrong with this dash and this motorcycle. In my opinion, maybe it's worth saving the money. But thanks for hanging out, guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye!